We've made our way back to Lakeville North High School after 3 months, I think it's been, to check on the status of the Dennis Kirk Chopper Build that's being done by Kevin Baas and his chopper class right here in their awesome shop. We've heard a lot of really cool things have been done. This thing is pretty much ready to rock and roll outside of a few tune-ups. Most importantly, I've heard rumors that the paint is in. So we can't wait to reveal that. But first, you gotta check out this classic piece of Americana right here. It is a 1997 Ford F-250 jacked up. It is clean. You're not gonna find a truck like this in Minnesota pretty much anywhere. And it's awesome to see Kevin and his class continue to keep these old machines on the road running for years to come. Let's go check out that chopper.
Hey.
Wow, Teach Man.
What's up? Just in time.
What is going on here?
Get it off the lift. How you doing?
Oh, good, man. This is insane. So there's a few things right away that I noticed that are not changes, but obviously the things that you guys have talked about, you know, will change and be fluid as we go. And one of the things that jumps out right away is last time we were here, they were custom making a chopper seat, and now we've moved on to more of a solo. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so what we're figuring for whoever the lucky winner is, we want to give them options, you know? We got our little low-slung, kind of bad to the bone chopper seat that sits on the rails, no suspension at all.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, here we go, over here.
Wow.
Jeff Tice from JT Leather did that one for us. So that'll fit in where the seat post tube goes here, and it'll sit on the fender nice and tight. But again, this is kind of a chopper, you know, she's rigid. So we thought, you know what, let's give the new owner options of if they want to do a little longer ride, need a little more comfort, let's do the stock original style pogo seat too. You'd think you're going to be way up or weird, but it actually puts you right in the pocket nice. It's good. I've got bikes with both style seats, as you can see. You know, the old ULer's got this chopper seat, and I got bikes with the pogo, and you know, there's a time and a place for both, you know, and
absolutely.
This is why we figured we'd give them both the opportunity to have it.
And there's other things that, following up on things that jumped out last time, you know, we really spent a lot of time in this tank and talking about, like, we didn't want this knuckle to be hidden behind a tank. And really, you know, you'd mentioned earlier, you've never really seen anyone take a chance of putting a window in before. And so this, if you were to look at both different sides, you know, this has been cut out and you get a real clean shot of that engine. And that was all the kids' idea.
Yep. And I think it really knocked it out of the park. It's cool, it flows nice. Jimmy did a great job with the molding and getting everything in for the paint. And it just, you know, it's gonna really show off those knuckleheads a little more, which is, you know, that's just the happy side. You know, everybody always says there's the A and the B side. The A side is always where you're gonna see the exhaust pipes in the motor. The B side is kind of, okay, really, you know, just a belt drive. But, you know, this is gonna really showcase that. And then, you know, for the general public to see that high school kids did this.
Yeah.
You know, they used the lathe, the machine, the axle spacers. They made the headlight bracket. They made the foot pegs. They made spacers for the different things. You know, it was like, it's just been a fun project. I'm proud of the kids. And, you know, really blown away by the paint. Jimmy did an amazing job with that paint. Z's Customs is Prior Lake, your buddy of mine, and, you know, when he took up this challenge, he was like, I know exactly what we got to do, and he nailed it, man. He knocked it out of the park.
One thing I love that we keep calling out every single time is the lathing work that's done. And it doesn't feel like it's anything crazy. But what's so cool to me is it's this continuous call out, like the kids made that happen. That was their accent choice that they made. So whether it was the foot pegs, which we've shown off before, or even down to this headlight bracket mount, it's all consistent in its look and feel. And to me, that's like just one of these other little touches that the kids added. It was all their idea, and they actually got to own it.
And another cool thing about the paint is Cliff Anderson actually pinstriped our Rat Rod go-kart last year when we were doing that through Northern Tool. So to have him back to help out with this one, it's pretty cool. We're pretty honored to have a legend like him have some work on this bike as well. He did a lot of the hand striping on it. And overall, you know, like you say, there's little things we got added to it that, you know, people have to actually take, you know, it's not going to just be a bike in a box. Oh yeah, there it is. Now people are going to be like, oh, look, well, what's that? And look at this. And oh, what's that little rib cover? And look at those. And it's going to be fun because it's kind of one of those things where you want a bike that takes people more than 5 seconds to see it and be like, okay, move on. You want to like spending a half hour really like getting down on a knee and being like, oh, look at this, look at that. How cool is that? And, you know, for a high school shop class, you know, think about it. You know, this is, you know, one of the best in the world. I don't know how many others are able to pull something like this off, this magnitude with kids that, you know, are under 18 years of age, most of them. Some of them are just turning 18 while they're doing this project. So
what is left, really, before the end of the school year?
We have to get the frame powder coated. So that's going to get done, and then we'll probably have Cliff stripe the frame too to give it some accents to match the paint job. Wiring's obviously going to be our next big issue. and adding a coil, the spark plug wires, and just little things like getting the battery figured out. We actually, so this was a alternator style knuckle motor from SNS, and we decided to go with the generator only mount style. So we'll have to pull the cam chest cover off after spring break, put in the gear that will run the generator.
Sure.
And so that'll be kind of cool. The kids will get to see how to actually kind of tear apart one of these motors part way to get inside of it and put those gears in it. But then that way it'll run power right off that generator.
Very cool.
And then you know, we'll just need a tiny little battery because it's kick only. And but then with wiring, oil lines, we're gonna get the oil lines done, finish the jockey shifter. The guys have been working on finishing the jockey shift setup. We got to figure out if a tank shift's going to work because this is a Baker 6 and a 4.
Right.
Tank shifts are traditionally just a 4-speed.
Yeah.
So we got to kind of put our heads together, put it all on there and see what it's going to take. Can we make our own gate that actually would have the 6 spots or can we modify an original, or will an original one work and maybe we just engrave in a little extra 1, 2, 3, 4 somewhere?
Sure.
We're not sure yet. That's kind of uncharted territory. So we'll get to that when we get to it. But we know the jockey shift setup will work, so that's going to be our A1 priority, make it a cool old school jockey. And then if we can get the tank shift to work as a plan B for the owner, that would be in our to-do list of stuff.
Sure.
But otherwise, it's pretty darn close. You know, we talked about it, the bike comes apart, goes together 50 times before it's going together for good. So the Donnie Smith show, obviously it's not going to be done. We're just going to bring it kind of as is now, just to showcase how far we've gotten. Kids will be there to talk about how far they got to still go and what they've done, and you know that'll be fun for them to meet people in the industry. And you know, I know every year the industry really loves meeting the kids and seeing what we do in class. You know, they go home with a stack of business cards of people that want to hire them. You know, so they're kind of the big deal. You know,
you're doing your job definitely.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's what I love. I don't have to stand there. Like you won't even hardly see me by the bike because I want them to run the booth. You know, I'm out talking, networking, shaking hands from people that have helped us. People want to hear it from the kids. You don't want to hear me say, "Oh yeah, you know, Dylan did this and they did that." And it's like, no, let's hear the kids tell you what they did, you know, and that shows that they really did it, you know. So proud of the bike so far, proud of the kids for their hard work, and just excited to see it at the Donnie Smith show and be there. And you know, the support from the hamsters, they're going to be raising some money for the class. So always hats off to the hamsters and what they show their love for the kids and what we do here. That's always amazing. And thanks for Dennis Kirk for hosting us. You're going to let us be in your booth this year, which would be cool. Yeah, I'm just excited to get there again. It's like a big family reunion. People come in from all over the country, people I haven't seen in a while, make new friends, make new sponsors, keep pushing what we do with the kids so that next year we'll be back with something else cool, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a good point. Let's throw it over. We did a quick interview with both Dylan and Archie back here. Let's go ahead and throw it over to that and hear what they have to say about what they've been working on.
The transmission originally, we had to switch out the transmission plate. We had problems originally with it to where we had to kind of rework it around so everything would actually fit. Like I remember at first our oil tank was too big, so we had to get a shorter version of that, put that in there, and then fix the plate. Everything's working now.
Didn't we have to move some of the mounts up too for the oil tank?
We had to move so many of the mounts. We had to move like every mount, I think. Yeah, so all the bolts and all that. Oh, what else do you like about it? If I gotta say anything, I love this paint job.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. That thing's sweet, yeah.
It's that shiny black, like school color.
Yeah.
Now this seat, I'm not a big fan of this seat. I'm more fan. I suppose I should plug in the custom-made Lakeville North Chopper seat that we don't have in right now because we want to show off all the paint. Yeah. So the plan's to have a sissy bar. Right now, that's a work in progress. We got sidetracked with a lot of the other stuff on it, but right now, this is our seat. I'm more of a fan of this one. Obviously, this is the comfortability. It looks pretty cool, but the one major thing turned out great is the paint job. I think it's better than what I expected. It was just a really fun class. It's like somewhere it's like you get to be around motorcycles and you get to like put stuff together to where it's like, man, why would I want to do math when I can do this stuff all day? So I think it's pretty cool.
It's super exciting to see everything come together piece by piece. And until the paint job was done, you're like, okay, we got this part and we got this part, but how much more do we need? But once you started seeing all the different parts come in painted and all that stuff, it was getting really exciting to be able to see that everything was actually almost done. And it's not that far away from starting.
All right, so we've heard a lot about the custom work from the kids, from Kevin, but we do have a lot of brands that have pitched in to make this whole build happen. Kevin, why don't you run us through some of the parts we have and the
really
brands that come from?
Yeah. So starting with like this basic drive line, you know, we got our wheels and tires, but we got a clutch from BDL. It's one of their competitor clutches. We use BDL on all our old school bikes. We got it on the old flathead over here. It's on this bike. It's on all the ones we do. BDL is made in America. They've been a great sponsor of the high school class for years. Always help us out. We love them, so shout out to BDL. Another good friend of ours and contributor here is our friends Paper Street Customs. They're going to help us spice up that BDL belt drive with some of their rib covers to kind of match all the machine work the kids did with the groove spacers and headlight bracket and whatnot. So thanks to Paper Street Customs. We have our cycle electric generator on there. We run them on everything. Those guys run a top quality product. Keep your bike charging well and running good. S&S obviously for the Knucklehead motor, which is always amazing. Jimmy's Amatus for the paint. Cliff Anderson for the pinstriping. All the students for what they've done. And then on this side we got Gas Box. Jesse from the Gas Box built the pipe setup for this. Nice shotgun. It's going to sound really good. It's going to sound super good. You know, I'm excited to see that going. So this bike, you know, it's got a lot of different brands. And what I love about it is we've only used good stuff. You know, we made sure that we're picking the top of the line. It's going to be durable. This is a bike that's going to be built to be ridden, and hopefully the new owner won't have any problems and just be able to get on it and go, and it'll be nothing but smiles and miles.
As you guys can see, there's a lot that has gone into this bike, whether it's custom work between Kevin and his students or the amazing brands that have lent in to make this thing happen. It truly is a work of art, functional art at that. Now, if you're in the Minnesota area, I'm not sure if this video is going to come out before or after the Donnie Smith Show, but we will be presenting this bike at the 2025 Donnie Smith Show. I believe it's the 36th annual, where you'll have it over by our Garage Build Showcase, where we have a lot of other garage builders showing off some of their works of art amongst some of the top pro builders in our area. So this bike is going to sit right in there. We're going to have some of the students hanging out, talking about everything they did with a lot of the people that will be perusing the event. It should be something pretty amazing. So if you are in the area, stop on by, give it a look. Otherwise, stay tuned to all the Dennis Kirk socials to see where it happens up next.